I ain't too old for this shit. Lethal Weapon, released March 6, 1987, stars Mel Gibson and Dan Glover as Martin Riggs and Roger Murtaugh. This movie holds a very special place in my heart because not only is it one of my favorite buddy cop movies, it is the best buddy cop movie ever created. Okay? And the film is brought to us by Richard Donner, who did Superman 2. Regardless of what anybody says, Richard Donner still directed half of Superman 2. So, yeah. Anyway. And the story is basically revolves around Martin Riggs and Murtaugh investigating a group of drug smugglers. Okay? But when they find out the situation is a lot more than what it seems, and it gets a little bit progressively worse, especially for Murtaugh, they have to fight Gary Busey and Mitchell Ryan, which are the two best bad guys in this first installment of this movie franchise, and it is awesome. They do great jobs here, but the biggest standout in Lethal Weapon is Mel Gibson, because his character, Martin Riggs, yeah, his life is kind of crap. He loses his wife, he's a suicidal, over-the-top, loose cannon, okay? He's not afraid to do anything over the top, okay? And then it's Mel Gibson he just does a great job at it. I know he's not the best leading guy right now because of his personal life, but him as an actor, I still respect. The real guy, not so much. But the guy that you see in Lethal Weapon, oh hell city, yeah. Mel Gibson was just awesome in this movie. Okay? Not to mention you got Danny Glover. I haven't seen Danny Glover in anything that's fucking good. And that's saying a lot, because he is a good actor, but sometimes he picks a lot of crappy roles. He picked a solid, good role in this movie. And not only does this movie make you care about those two, you actually care about Murtaugh's family as well. And that is the one staple I love about the entire franchise, and how the entire franchise in the whole is anchored down. It's that continuing relationship with Riggs, his family, and Murtaugh. Of course. I mean, not Riggs. Murtaugh and his family, and Riggs together. I got that confused for a second. But there's two scenes in this movie that really sells you in this movie that you love the most, because it sets the bar for this movie. Because when at the beginning they can't stand each other at all. But there's this one key scene where they're outside this house in the pool, and the guy brings out a gun as Gibson is trying to arrest his ass, and he nearly shoots Murtaugh, and that's when Murtaugh realizes Riggs just saved his butt, and the level of their friendship kind of gets cemented in the ground at that point. And that is what makes them come together more as a unit. That is probably the standout of the movie, because it brings them literally together for the rest of this whole movie. And then that final scene, which is usually you got an action movie that goes all out on shootouts and blow 'em ups. Lethal Weapon is more smarter than that. That's what I give this franchise. This is a smart franchise. It doesn't rely on any of that, especially this one. This one relies on a well choreographed fist fight that will make Kiss of the Dragon's rain sequence with the fire awesome. It will make it proud. Okay? I mean, I love that fight scene. It is awesome in this movie. It sets the tone for how dark the very first Lethal Weapon movie is. Okay? And to this day, nothing can touch Lethal Weapon. Nothing can touch this movie. The only movie that outshined Lethal Weapon was his own sequel. but we'll get to that. So, performances wise, everybody did a great job in this movie. Can't stress that enough. And as for Lethal Weapon itself, it's going to get an A+. I love Lethal Weapon so much. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. Just can't make them like they used to. And Warner Bros. Has announced they're going to reboot the Lethal Weapon franchise. And let me tell you something. I don't have a problem with that. But, and I do mean a but, you really have to not only cast top of the line people, you have to hire top of the line crew members to make that reboot outshine the original. Because right now you can't touch the original Lethal Weapon film. So if you do a reboot, you might want to take that in consideration. Just don't reboot it to start a fresh new beginning. You have to outshine the original Lethal Weapon. Usually I will say I'll be fine if it's just good and entertainment, but no. This is Lethal Weapon. You have to outshine that shit. Okay? And if you can't do that, you'll have a decent reboot, but you won't have a good one for me. Okay? So just putting that out there. Let me know what you guys think about Lethal Weapon down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? And I'll see y'all in the next one.